Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today we're going to have a lot of fun and I am going to show you my idea of a fabrication of a grain barrel that I designed a long time ago. I'll put a couple of links down below if you'd like to see a little bit of entertainment, and it was with me and Doug from Pine Tree Line Outdoors. And we set up this great big giant kind of, well, I made this boom. It was like an articulated kind of boom that was meant to hold a grain barrel up in the tree full of corn. And down below I have one of these little spinners, you know, for feeding the deer. Well, it worked. But you know what? You have to actually try to do stuff first before you can find out that there's a better way. And I'm going to show you my idea of the better way, and let's get to it right now. Well, let's start off right here. This is what I fabricated up so far, and the only difference is, well, of course I have to weld everything, and I'm going to have one hole here, one hole on the top side, and I'm going to put a hole in each four corners. And I have to weld this post in, and I'll show you over on the other bench the reason why. Now this is going up in a tree, and this is going to work flawlessly, I'm sure, this time. Well, let's take a look at the workbench and see exactly what I got planned out. Well, this is the pole going all the way up here. It's roughly 6 feet, and I've got a 600-pound winch, cable line. This piece right here is going to go on the end right up here of this pole right there. And of course I got to mount this on there first, and then this here will clip in here, and of course the cable will all be in. And so what I got fabricated here is, this is that post I showed you over there. This is going to be on a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to weld it in, and then the long tubing will slip over top of here and extend out on an angle of 45 degrees. So let's get welding this in first, and then you'll see how this is all going to fit together. Well, before we get started welding, I just thought I'd show you, this is 1x1 steel tubing, and it's not 1/8, it's the one just below, so that 3/4 bar stock, you know, fits in there pretty good, but it's just loose enough so that it will slide in and out comfortably. So what I'm going to do is, we'll start welding this up. For you that have never welded before, I always like to just put one tack on this side, and the same on the corresponding sides, so that this piece doesn't move. And remember, you got a solid piece of steel here compared to tubing, so you just can't go crazy on the heat too much. But let's weld this up and let's see how it goes. Okay, let's turn the welder on. Let's start welding. Okay, so now as you can see, it's just tacked up. Now I weld it right straight along, but I'm going to take the clamp off first, turn it into a better position so I can weld it really good. There we go. Let's flip her over and do the other side. Now as you can see, it's so much easier getting your material working right in front of you rather than, you know, contorting your body around in a whole bunch of different angles. So this, I find this is the simplest way to do it for me. Okay, I'll finish welding that up. on the back side here, and then we'll have to attach the other side to it. Well, this is the setup here, and you can see it's very simple. You just got to line it up as best you can. I mean, this is nothing that's that critical, and just clamp it up. And as you can see here, yeah, we don't have a lot of space, you know, to weld in between here. So what you do here, like right in there, yeah, well, you just weld the bejesus out of her the best you can. So let's get to it right now. She's clamped in there pretty good, boys, so fire up the welder, giddy up, go. There's one. Let's turn her over now. Okay, here we go. Okay, I finished welding up just this one spot right here, and I'll show you what it looks like on the jig. Well, that's it right there, and as you can see, she's welded up good enough all the way around. I mean, the most that barrel weighs is about maybe 80 pounds, so this should be fine, and that's not going nowhere. So I'm not going to bore you with me showing you me welding all these individual little spots, but like I say, all I got to do is drill a couple of holes here, and one on each corner up on the top. And then I'll bring you back and I'll show you exactly what I plan on doing with this. Well, I thought I'd bring you along and just show you what this contraption looks like before I weld it, because this is really part of the process. I drilled all the holes, it's ready to be welded, and I'm going to show you exactly what I like to do before I weld something, because you know what? For a lot of people, they've never tried something like this before, and I think this is good just to show people what I believe you should do before you have so many pieces in one fabrication that has to be welded. So let's go take a look. Now take a look at that setup. The most important thing about welding when you first start out is get as many clamps as you possibly can. And yeah, I'm going to take this whole thing. You can see I put the holes all in here, all the way around. That one there and over there. And I got all the holes in, and she's ready to be welded. And yeah, this is the idea setup right here. And you know, it's very easy, and all you do is you make sure you got yourself one of these squares, tape measure, and you know, like this took me 10 minutes. I mean, it's not, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. It's not that critical of a piece, but the more time you spend clamping something up and make sure it's solid, well, the better it's going to turn out. So I'll bring you back when this is all welded. Well, everything is all welded up, and I'm just going to explain a couple of things first. I'll show you some of the items that are all complete now, and we'll start off with the pole. Okay, so this is the one that I am going to put on the mount itself after the mount is attached to the tree. And at the end here, you can see I fastened like a hook on. And if you look right on the end there, I just put just a little bit of paper towel in there and then some latex caulking. Because the last thing I want to do is have this fill up full of snow and rainwater and everything and go down to my stub shaft there and just rust on there solid. So yeah, you have to plug this up. But this hook here, now I want you to imagine something first before I get to the finished product. I like you to imagine the winch part. Okay, so I got the winch all done. I'll show you that in a second, but of course I have this pulley here, and this pulley is going to hook on to the end of the pole, and this is going to hook on to my barrel. Now if you've never seen my barrel before on the channel, what I'll do is I'll put a link down below, And I'll show you the last vid I mentioned in the beginning about me and Doug up at my camp, and we're installing, well, it's completely different than this. We spent hours in the bush, I'll just tell you that, but it got up in the tree. I'm not too sure if it's still there or not. I haven't gone back in the bush to see. But Doug and Jamie from Pine Tree Line Outdoors, hopefully they're going to come up, and we're going to watch Jamie put this thing up in the tree. But so here's the winch here, and I put one of these on here. And you know, I thought that was a good idea. I don't know why. Hopefully when we get up there, Jamie and Doug can figure out what to do with this. But we have to actually attach this to the tree somehow so you can crank, you know, the barrel up and down. Now the barrel holds a bag and a half of corn. So I think it's around 75 pounds, including the barrel and everything, maybe 85 pounds tops. 600-pound winch, no problem. Okay. So, well, as you notice here, this is made for another one. I haven't welded this one up yet, but of course I don't do anything in ones, I do them in twos. So this is just the latex caulking, you know, that I used on the end of the pole, and just some regular brown paint. Now all I do is I just degrease everything. I don't go crazy, I just get a rag, wipe it over top, sprayer, and that's it. I've got no time for making things pretty, I don't do pretty. So, where are we now? Okay, so this is the rig right here, right? This is it right here. Can you just saunt this right here? Now, you see this screw here? Now could you imagine Jamie's going up the tree on a ladder with a screw gun. And all he has to do is just drive this into the tree, and of course I'll have another screw to drive it into the tree here. Now you can just let it go, set it, and forget it. And that was the problem me and Doug had back in the bush. Wow, it was like a gong show. This here, yeah, you just put a screw in, drive it in, and that's it. Now if you're worried about my trees, I got at least 4 million trees, 5 million trees. So I'm not worried about damaging a tree, right? So you guys let me know what you think of this design. Because I think, to tell you the truth, now you can see how this is like this. It'll be mounted to the tree, put the pole on the end, Bob's your uncle. There we go. So, thanks for joining me here today. And look forward to a part 2. And we're going to have Pine Tree Line Outdoors with us, hopefully, if he can make it, weather permitting. I mean, it's a long drive from his place over to my place, and hopefully him and Jamie can make it, and me and Doug are just going to watch Jamie go up that tree and mount this like a champ. So thanks for joining me here today. If you've never seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for part 2. Well, I hope there's a part 2, because one way or another, I'm firing this thing up the tree. Cheers.